A lovely day to each and everyone out there listening to us at this time. You're welcome to another episode of Beautiful Outstanding Ladies with Disabilities, the program by Bold Heart Network. We call it Bold TV. And we are here once again, just like every other Saturday, to discuss issues as it affects and concerns women and girls with disabilities towards a sustainable future that we all are craving for. Welcome once again to the program. And like I said, it's brought to you by Bold Heart Network. And indeed, today I'm not alone. I'm here with other ladies together. We shall be discussing our topic, the prevalence of gender-based violence among women with disabilities. And today it's going to be the end of that series. We've been talking about it now for, say, 2 weeks. Yes, talking about the documentary we've been showing and discussing the issues around the documentary, the prevalence of GBV amongst women with disabilities. And today we are wrapping it all up. And of course, we've got some special guests appearing on the program today. They are legal professionals, and they will be helping us with the legal perspective of all the issues we've been discussing in the series. And I am Oluwatomi Singh Adeyefa. I'm a visually impaired person, a broadcast journalist. I'm based in Abeokuta, Ogun State. And yeah, okay. I've said I'm a broadcast journalist, right? Okay, so that marks it. I would also give other ladies in the house the privilege of please introducing themselves. And I will take it up from our guest appearances. Ladies, introduce yourself.
I'm so happy to be here today. My name is Sylvia Anosike. I'm a lawyer. I'm the principal partner in Seal Legal Consult. Our area of practice is mostly on children and women. Legal issues as it borders on children and women. That's the kind of practice that we and services we offer at Seal Legal Consult. We don't just hire lawyers alone. We also work with counselors and psychologists. So it's a blend of both the law and counseling. They are based in Port Harcourt here in River State.
My name is Toyin Taiwo Ojo. I'm a lawyer and I do general practice, but I also run an organization called Stop the Abuse Against Women and Children Foundation. It's a non-profit making organization that is dedicated to fighting for the rights of women and children. We offer pro bono legal services, not excluding free medical services for survivors. We also offer psychosocial trauma support for survivors, and not also leaving the aspect of economic empowerment, especially for indigent women and children. That's basically what we do at Stop the Abuse Against Women and Children Foundation.
Thank you very much, Sylvia and Tony, for appearing on Bold TV today. We really do appreciate your presence.
Hello, everybody. Good day. I'm Osaki Teresa Georgie. I reside in River State, Port Harcourt, polio survivor, a trainer in multiple applications, work with Fair Care Foundation, a member of Bold Heart. I'm so glad to be here.
My name is Raki Andreasian. I'm based in Port Harcourt in River State, public health professional, member of Bold Heart Network, ED Faker Foundation. I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury. Glad to be here. Thank you.
So I haven't done our introductions. I'm sure our viewers at home would know that we've got the house so packed up today and we are ready to have our robust conversation. And we're just going to play the last clip of the documentary. This is another story of gender-based violence perpetrated against another woman who is with a disability. I want you to listen to this, and when we come back, we shall talk some more. 34-year-old Abimbola Binutu, fleeing for her dear life during a fight with her twin's father, resulted in her having access to her children once in a while.
My name is Abimbola Binutu. I became pregnant 2014 and I moved to my mother-in-law's house. We stayed there in the same roof. With pregnancy, I worked. He did not do anything to care for me or to take me to the hospital. He never cared for me and the pregnancy. Bitter, it was very bitter for me. Bitter experience. I have baby, twins. I was still working, taking care of them, washing clothes with the mark operation, the CS operation mark. My husband did not work. He just stayed at home for 4 years, only me. I always complain, but he always punish me, beat me. I told him to please assist the little way he can in taking care of the house. He said no. I told my mother-in-law, please let him assist me at home. My mother-in-law said no. Shebi I have given you money and you are living in the house. My son cannot assist you. You are a woman. I tried to do what I can do. My husband borrowed my phone. He saw the torchlight. To on the torchlight, he then started reading my messages on phone. He came back and was angry. Who is this man? I told him that this man was a teacher. And he said I'm lying. Argument starts and he started beating me. I ran to my friend and slept over till I came back in the morning. I saw that he was not there. He has locked the place. I searched. I went to my mother-in-law's room. I went there to see. My mother-in-law changed her behavior, told me that please pack out and leave the children. I decided to pack my things and she started pushing me. She was pushing me. My mother-in-law with 3 other people, they were trying to push me out. In the process of struggling to defend myself, I hit my mother-in-law. She started crying, running around, calling family, lying that I slapped her. And to beg her, they told me to buy goats and kola nuts. I ran to I called my father to come and solve this matter. My father came, called on phone. They told him to come. Before he came, my mother-in-law has called different people. Only my father came and saw many people that we fight, that this I'm wrong, my behavior black. My father asked me, did you slap your mother? I told him no, I did not slap my mother-in-law. I tried to explain. They did not listen. My children were sick. Why not tell me that my son is sick? I want to go and visit. I asked, where are my children? Where are they living? Give me the address. She said they are in Abuja, but somebody gave me the address. I now traced them. They are in Lagos. I asked her why. She said, please. When my children saw me, they were so happy. Mother, they want to go with me. My mother-in-law said, no, stay. So they always come to me for holiday. I care for them and take them back. They stay with me for holiday. My children want to stay with me. My mother-in-law said no. Government should support me to take my children back for me.
With so much anguish and longing for her children, Abimbola admitted to not taking a step at the moment towards obtaining full custody of her twins because she doesn't know where to go for the much needed help. Welcome welcome back. It's still Bold TV, brought to you by Bold Heart Network, and we are still here ready to start the conversation today after listening to the story of Abimbola, who had a set of twins, and things went south between her husband and herself, and her children were taken away from her, and she has no access till date to those children. And this would form the crux of our conversation, especially with our legal professionals today. We shall be asking them questions surrounding child custody, separation, divorce, and violence as it concerns women with disabilities, especially here in Nigeria. So we'll start with this very first question, and it goes to Sylvia. What is child custody, and who should take it?
Before I go on to explain what child custody means, first of all, I would like to make a little explanation on who a child is. Because that you gave birth to a child does not mean that probably that child is deserving of child custody if the child does not come under who a child is under the law. So a child is a person under the age of 18 years. Under the Matrimonial Causes Act, a child that is entitled to maintenance is a child under the age of 21. So I go further now to explain what child custody is. Child custody is the care, control, and maintenance of a child, which may be awarded by a court to one of the parents in a case of divorce or a separation proceedings. So it's like the care, control, the ability to decide, given to one of the parents when there is a divorce or separation. We cannot be talking about child custody if there is no divorce or there's no issue of separation. We can only talk about custody when probably the relationship between the parents are already having an issue. Then we can now start talking about child custody. Of course, we know that when parents have issues, it's actually the children that, or there's a child in between, that actually suffer from such. So now the law has actually made provisions for these children, how they will be taken care of, and who takes care of them, and what ratio to that particular decision. And of course, we know as we go further, if it's something that will not be discussed, that there are conditions that will actually be looked at before the issue of custody will be determined. It's not something that will just be determined just like that. They will look at some particular issues holistically before they will be able to decide who goes with the custody of the child. Another question you asked me was, okay, who goes with the custody of the child? The custody of the child most of the times is always with the mother. It's always with the mother. But there are special circumstances where the custody of the child can be with the father. Yes, you understand, there's special circumstances where it can be with the father. Many times when they have issues and they're in court, both the man and the woman is actually asking for custody. But of course, we know that when it comes to children, the best interest of the child principle is what comes to mind to the judge or whoever it is that's adjudicating over the matter. What is the best interest of this child? What will be the best interest of this child? And in considering the best interest of the child, we look at the emotional attachment of the child. If, for example, this child is emotionally attached to the mother more, then of course the custody might go to the mother. And it's what they call access that will be given to the father. And the father probably will go ahead with maintenance. They'll look at the emotional attachment. You look at the age of the child. You look at the age of the child, you look at the emotional attachment of the child to each of the parents. So if the child is emotionally attached to the mother, of course, you cannot just withdraw the child from the mother. Just like that. There was a matter I was handling before a particular judge, I cannot mention her name. Once the matter came up before that particular judge, the first thing she would tell you, as soon as you come up with the issue of custody, she will say, you know, it's not possible that I can give you custody as a man. Because of course, they put the best interest of the child principle to mind first before any other thing. So in determining custody, first of all, you must look at the emotional attachment of the child to each of the parents. You look at the age of the child. financial dependency, and the emotional stability of each of the parents. So maybe there's some times where the woman will not get custody. When they look at the woman is not emotionally stable, mentally stable to take care of the child, of course, custody may be denied, or most often custody will be denied. But most of the times, women, the mother is always the one that has custody over the children or over the child, as the case may be.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Sylvia, for that in-depth response to the question on what child custody is. I want to ask this question. The question is, when both parties, when is it determined that both parties are unable to take custody of a child? I'm asking this because of sometimes the disability bias. And I just want to find out if that comes into play at any time, especially in our Nigerian judicial system. When do third parties have a power to be able to gain custody of a child above both parents in the case of separation or divorce? So go ahead, please.
All right, when it comes to custody, normally it's with the parents, but there are exceptions where probably a third party can have custody, where the parents probably are not capable to take care of the children. The court can actually grant custody to a third party to take care of that child, pending when the child is strong enough to actually make decisions for his or herself. Of course, it's possible.
Yeah, so I'm trying to find out what are some of those determinants, like a parent is not able.
Okay, if the parents, number one determinant factor is if the parents are not mentally stable to take care of the child, physically stable too to take care of the child. The both parties, you understand, are not able to take care of the child. And probably even there are some cases where the parents do not even want to take, even when they are strong enough to take care of this particular child, you understand, they don't even want to take care of the child. You do everything possible, humanly possible for them to actually take care of the child, no way. And maybe a relative comes up and say, okay, I want to take care of this child. All they could do is to grant a guardianship order. Okay, and say, okay, take care of this child, pending when this child is strong enough to go ahead with his or her life. The fact that someone has a disability should not be a drastic to stop the person from taking care of the child. But where they can bring in a third party is when they see that this person's disability has affected the person so much that the person might not have the capacity to run the affairs of a child.
Haven't talked about what custody is. You've talked about the parent being the sole custodian of the child, except in some special cases, and that will be determined by the law. I want to ask, how? Seen in the video where as a set of twins, a mother-in-law is taking the twins. And I'm sure there are lots of other women and girls, other women with disabilities who or their baby fathers who feel that, oh, I can't away from you. It is my child. It is our child, like we say it in this part of the world. So if a woman like Abimbola, who would really want custody, is out there, what are those things? What are the steps she needs to take custody of those children? How can that be possible for such a woman?
Typically, like she said, most children are left with their mother, especially when the children are what we call minors. Now, minors are children, they are children, but under the law, like from the age of 7 years, that really, that at that age, a child less than 7 years is presumed that the custody should be with the mother. Now, like she said, there's some other underlying circumstances that will make a father to get custody of the children. Now, when a case of, we call that taking the child forcefully away from the parents with custody, we call it abduction. When that child is taken away forcefully from the mother, the first thing we do first is to go to report to the police. because that is a criminal offense. And we as civilians, we may not be able to handle it, because somebody who has the temerity and the audacity to take the child away from a mother may also want to be violent if you go to accost such a person, with why he has taken a child away. Now, when we report to the police station, most times, especially to the department that is saddled with this responsibility of, intervening in affairs that has to do with women. And when they are done, when we go to them, the offender, the suspect who has taken the child, is mostly called and to come to give a statement in the police on why he or she has taken that child away. So that's basically the process. And most times, if they are not willing to return the child, they are charged to court for abduction. Because we're in a patriarchal society, there is this belief that the child automatically belongs to the father. Now, in most circumstances, especially where there's no marriage between couples, they were living like partners and they had a child, the law presumes that that child solely belongs to the biological mother. So the idea that a man has a child in that instance is automatically pushed under the law. It doesn't exist. A woman who gave birth in outside marriage, the child belongs to her. Now, apart from using the police, you can actually file a civil suit in court. File a suit for custody and give the court germane reasons why the child will be better off with you. We should also understand that the litmus test for child custody or anything that has to do with children in the country is the paramount interest of the child. And like Sylvia said, the emotional, the parent to whom the child is more emotionally attached to. Now, you will also agree with me that most often times, women by nature, biological nature, are the nurturers. So the court always find it amenable or, find it easier to grant custody to a woman than to a man. However, one of the four criteria that is looked upon by the court when granting custody is the person who custody to be granted to, is he a morally upright person? Is he of sound mind? Is he a drunkard? Or drunkard now to include also is it also a drug abuser, drug user? Then the fourth one is I can't get the fourth one, but basically these are the three that the court look. Is he a morally upright person? Is he a drunkard? Is he of sound mind? Then is she or he physically healthy, to take care of child? So you agree with me that raising up a child could be a very taxing endeavor, and someone who is not very healthy may not be able to take care of the child. So these are the four criteria that the court looks at when granting custody to a child, to a parent.
I think my concern still comes up when, issues of the physical fitness, is brought into the equation. Maybe because I have seen where that was used against a woman who was visually impaired to have her child kept away from her. And the estranged partner kept insisting that she cannot take care of the child. Where there is no legal binding between this couple, where can they settle this kind of discord? If they are not married in court, or if they were not married, or they have been living, is there what can be done to settle where a child is, taken from the mother? What can be done?
When it comes to anything that has to do with divorce, even the child custody you're talking about, statutorily, it has to be a legal marriage, all we have been talking about. But a situation where there's no legal marriage, maybe there was a customary marriage, you understand, somewhere. Apart from the way people go back to the customary procedures to go about that, but we still have the Ministry of Social Welfare. We still have the Ministry of Social Welfare. I'm opportune to do stuff with them too. We still have the Ministry of Social Welfare. We have FIDA in every place in Nigeria. You understand? So such persons can go to such facilities. They will help you. You understand? So I really, my own point is this. When it comes to gender-based violence, as we are saying, it's violence against women. But now we're talking about this gender-based violence as it regards to women with special needs. Generally, women as a whole has issues with, the society and acceptance when it comes to marital issues. You understand? Generally, there's already an issue. So now, the issue now we're talking about today is the intertwine that women face, especially when there is a disability. But now we are lucky enough that the world is getting civilized. I don't see any reason why I'm physically capable, a child should be taken away from the mother on that ground because the woman has a disability. So if such a person is available, person should go to the Ministry of Social Welfare, go to the Director of Child. That's if you are in Port Harcourt, go to the Director of Child in River State here at the Secretariat Complex, I think the 7th floor or so, or I think the 7th or the 6th floor, and make your complaint. If you have a lawyer, you can go with it. If you don't have a lawyer, go to FIDA. And everything that they do there is pro bono. Even the OLA, which I'm also a member of, OLA, the African Women Lawyers Association, they also fight for women, both those with disabilities, those without disabilities, women as a whole, and children. So I think these are the bodies that I'm sure that can help them, and they can be able to get justice fast.
Thank you very much. We've heard so much. Both lawyers have said well as in-depth. So we've talked about custody, couples, child, but now I still want us to go on to a terminology which I think we need to get understand. These two words which we interchange at times, separation and divorce. Please, can you give us insight when it comes to what is separation, what is divorce, and the advice to go, as in which of which that one can do, at what length can one take a separation or divorce?
Divorce is a judicial decision declaring a marriage to be dissolved. Dissolved. They are no longer married. So the woman that used to answer Mrs. is now a Miss after a divorce proceedings has gone through. And also that's a judicial marriage. Now that you went to court, you have your marriage certificate on that note. Then there's still the dissolution they do customarily too, where there will be a return of the bride price and all of that, yes. But while we also talk about judicial separation, judicial separation, on the other hand, is a decision of an order of the court mandating that the couples be separated from each other, maybe for a while. There won't be conjugal right, oh. There won't be sleeping together, nothing. All of you just, be apart, but you're still married. Probably when they've seen that, okay, this separation could occur when the marriage is still young, and they are seeing that there's possible window for settlement. They could now say, okay, if we should go on a recession, everybody separates let's see if the both of you can have an understanding. And after that, there will be restitution of conjugal rights, and the marriage will now continue if there is an amicable settlement. But divorce is an outright dissolution. During the period of separation, nobody is supposed to be married. If you should end up getting married during that period, they are committing a criminal offense. So nobody should be married during the period of separation. But during the period after the divorce, you can go ahead, you know, if you have another love of your life, you can go ahead and get married. So my point is this: divorce can happen, can be advised. You understand? There is a 2 years rule when it comes to divorce, that the couple should have lived together at least for the minimum of 2 years. After 2 years, before you can now start thinking of divorcing. But there are situations where even under 6 months, you bring that matter before, come to my chambers and say, okay, this is what has happened. We'll now look at the law and say, look at the provisions of the law. Where there is extreme cruelty, wickedness, extreme violence, even after 2 weeks, they can bring up a divorce proceedings where you can prove that there is extreme cruelty and all this issue of threats, as in violent to, as in issues that would endanger someone's life. You know, if there is deceit, there are some special circumstances like that. But in a general circumstance, at least a marriage should stay up to 2 years. Because the only thing about divorce is that the whole parties have gone apart and they can go ahead and remarry and have another family if they want. But in separation, you can't. So that's different.
Thank you very much for that explanation, talking about the difference between separation and divorce.
Yeah, I believe that the conversation has been very in-depth, and I believe strongly that one of the key things that I keep hearing is that even from insistence or from the beginning, get the law behind you. You know, get legally hedged. That's like, because you have there are provisions in the law to protect you, especially now. You know, we've spoken that the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, yes, the international treaty, but thank God in 2018, the Prohibition Act and Prohibition Against Persons and Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities was signed into law. So for a woman to be discriminated against from her right to having a family on the grounds of disability can never hold water anymore. So get legalese behind you, get the law behind you by stepping into that marriage or that partnership or that union legally, so that if anything should ever happen, you can exercise the provisions of the law. If you have an issue where maybe there's no legal binding, then you now go to the ministry in your state responsible for issues on child welfare, and try to see how you can get welfare from your spouse, a mandate where they insist that he pays welfare for the child. So if you're a woman with disability and you're currently having the issue of your child being taken from you, sitting back on your oars or sitting back and doing nothing will not bring back your child. That's the fact. You need to be able to step forward and make the demand in these different ways that we have said.
Thank you. So about this topic, thank you, Barrister Silva, for coming here today and helping us. So to the women out there, I'll say, with everything we have said here today, I hope everybody will be able to understand that it's not okay to stay somewhere. And with all that I've learned, I think all the women must have learned 1 or 2 things about what they can do for their children if they end up in a bad situation and if they are not married. So for you ladies out there, please, I hope this topic today has taught you a lot of things and everything is good. Thank you.
For a woman in the house with a disability, you've heard so much, and you now know your right and how you put your ears down, ask questions, and make some research, read books. So that whenever you are being your or child right, whatever,
You know what to do. You have your say. Don't be dormant about it or just take everything for a yes, 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 yes. Try and see how much you could fight for the cause of what you're doing and why you exist. Thank you.
What I would like to say to every woman out there, both for the woman with disability and the woman without disability that is going through one form of pressure, abuse, or the other, I would like to make you understand that you, especially for the women with disability, that you are enough. You are wonderful, you are beautiful, and help is available for you. The law has actually made provisions for you to be protected, even in this country, Nigeria. So there's protection for you, there's help for you. So speak up, don't let anyone intimidate you. Speak up, get help, get relevant help, and definitely the help that you seek will definitely come if you can be able to follow the steps that actually has been dished out in this particular episode. Thank you so much. I love you all.
All right, ladies, thank you so much. It's been an awesome edition of Bold TV today. I must confess, with rich conversations right there. And we say special thank you to our special guest appearance today, Sylvia Hanasike and Toyin Taiwo Uju. Thank you, ladies, for being on Bold TV with us. Beyonce, special thanks to you for making it despite your croaky voice. Frankie, thank you for always being there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Everybody on this production. You had to do that, Abby. Thank you for making a date. And to all our listeners, our viewers out there, we also want to appreciate you. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for doing all those things that you do. Thank you for your support, your like, your share, your comment on both our Facebook and YouTube channel. We want to appreciate you so kindly. And we hope we keep doing this together as we look forward to a better and brighter, sustainable future for you and I. If you've joined us today on Bold TV, please ensure to join us again next week, Saturday, and every other Saturday for another interesting edition. I remain your host for today, Oluwatomisin Adeyefa. Thank you to the ladies for holding it down. It's been an amazing time. See you again next week. Bye for now.